Hello everybody, and today I would like to show off my builds for Baldur's
Dost
Gate
thou
3.
require a new ally?
I'm going to
Or
first start
mayhaps
off
a resurrection
with
instead?
my
As thou
build for
did.
my Bard. In my previous video, I did show off how this Bard faced against Orin, and I thought it was quite well. So, start off, we're going to pick our first level of Bard. I do like myself some friends as my cantrip, and Vicious Mockery is nice, but no. At this point, at this level, I say you can pick whatever you're really comfortable with. The only thing we need at some point is light, because one, light is a useful cantrip, but you know, whatever you feel like you can use and make fun of, make use of, go ahead and see fit. These are my go-to the first level spells, and these are my starting stats. As you can see, we're going all in on that charisma. We will be taking the Hag's Hair and the Mirror for even more charisma, and the Mirror can actually give up to 3 additional charisma, so it works out quite well. Right, next we are going to pivot into Warlock, because this predominantly is an Eldritch Blast based build. Here I'm going to pick Eldritch Blast and Minor Illusion. Minor Illusion is useful, and I'm going to go with the Fiend is nice, but I do like Great Old One, because it can apply Frightened, which is another debuff, which is kind of the whole point of this build. It's just adding debuffs onto whatever I decide I want to fight. Big thing is I want to pick Hex. Tasha's his laughter is nice, but Hex is the big one. And there's Amberagathis, and now invocations are Agonizing Blast and Repelling Blast. I do want to say, if you don't want to do Repelling Blast, Devil's Sight is always nice. Being able to see through darkness, it's useful. And yeah, those are our 2 levels into Warlock. And from here we are going to pivot into Bard, or back into Bard, and we are going to stick with Bard all the way until it hits level 10, and that's our last level. So, Long Strider is a nice spell, but we're not going to pick that here. As you'll see why. End of the video I'm going to show off my camp casting routine, which I believe will be useful, which includes Long Strider there, so I don't need it on any of my main builds. So I think for here we're just going to pick Bane, because Bane's it's alright. It's not the best. Continue on with Bard. And for this, realistically, you can pick whatever spells you like. I do like myself some crowd control, so we're going to go with Hold Person. And your skill proficiencies, pick your favourite Bard ones. Mainly your Persuasion, your Performance, any of your Intimidation or your Deception. So from that, pick whatever you think will be useful, or whatever your party is particularly lacking. I personally like to have at least a tiny bit into some stealth, but your main ones are going to be your core 4 Bard-based skills, so Deception, Intimidation, Persuasion, Performance. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of Bane and replace it with Heat Metal, because I think it's just a little bit better. Continuing on, so I'm going to pick up Light, because Light is going to be used for this build, because we're going to make use of one of the rings that benefits from being in Light. Silence is a very useful spell. It was really useful on the Grimforge boss, because certain his attacks just didn't do anything, or they couldn't do with them. A lot of bosses are kind of crippled by silence in honor mode. From here we're going to go with our feats, and of course we're going to go ASI, bring our charisma up to 19. Continuing on, there are quite a few options, quite a few spells in my opinion that open here. I will be picking a few from level 3 as we go on. stuff like Bestow Curse, Fear is nice, Cliff of Warding. Cliff of Warding's nice, but I don't really use it. But Hypnotic Pattern's the one I'm going to go with. Because Hypnotic Pattern is just a good way, good little crowd control. And we're going to replace the spell with a Bestow Curse there, because it's just kind of like an upgrade. Like I said, going to basically level by level picking the spells we want. I'm fairly open to whatever, but big ones here, Haste and Counterspell, it's just handy to have. Now we reach our next tier of spells. Our level 4 spells. I do like me. I never use Polymorph. Polymorph's nice, but it's not the best, but Confusion's a big one. I do like Confusion. Alright, our next feat will be this level. We also do not need freedom of movement, that's going to come from a camp cast. Once again, I'll show you that at the end. But for this level, Great Invisibility is nice. And I think we're probably going to end up picking that. And for this level, we are going to use a dual wielder. This is so that we can have Valor, a Louvre, and a staff equipped at the same time. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, that might be wrong. Hold Monster works really well. Honestly, probably should have used this on Orange in my fight, but I froze her in like the first turn. Didn't need it. Final cantrip, Mage Hand. Mage Hand's good for like throwing items, so I like to like drop any like useful stuff like on the floor. Final level spell is going to pick Conjure Elemental, because the more summons you have, generally the easier fights will go for you, because yes, generally the enemies have more targets to focus, they aren't targeting you, and having the extra attack gains initiative order on your side, and will take Bestow Curse. Finally, we're going to take our final skill expertise and intimidation, and we'll pick stealth because I do like stealth, and I don't need performance. I got my performing achievement for earning 100 gold, so I don't need that anymore. And yeah, that is my bard build. Now we're going to go over some of the gear. So, once again, Falar Louvre is our go-to sword. We're going to go start off with Birthright. Birthright brings our charisma up to 22, which then goes forward to 24. Having a high charisma makes our Eldritch Blast hit for a lot, being buffed both by our chest piece and Agonizing Blast, which, you know, high damage. The most effective God of Affliction you can inflict on an enemy is death. Generally, I could say capes are kind of open to whatever you really want. I like the Cloak of Displacement, although to be fair, you can pick whatever you like. Boots of Stormy Clamor, you definitely want this. This is a good way. They are basically boots that it's like, hey, I've had something applied to me. I'm gonna get even more stuff applied to me. That will eventually knock me over. Luminous Gloves. You get a bit of you get another thing applied to you if you are hit by essentially, if you were in you are within light. Then Callous Growing and the Consecration Ring both team really well with each other to do even more damage. Finally, Spine Surgeon Amulet. Once again, inflicts even more reverberation. That'll stack with the Boots of Stormy Clamor. Means it's very highly that a single Eldritch Blast will knock someone over. Bow, I say, is kind of open. I like the hell out of bow. Gives me higher initiative, makes me hit first. And yeah, if you want to see an effective use of this build, feel free to check out my fight against Arin. Yeah. See, got our Baldur in one hand, staff in the other hand. quite fun. But yeah, this was my bard build. I'm now going to move on to one of my other characters. I'll be going over together my cleric, my bard, my barbarian, and my rogue. So, hope you enjoy, and I will move on to the next one.
I wonder what the next move is.
Alright, so, moving on, we are going to pick our cleric build. Now, I wanted originally to pick a light cleric, because I've seen some crazy stuff that some orbs can do, but I didn't have like the most best gear for it. I kind of left it in the previous act, so this was my simple life cleric that I made to basically keep everybody healed and topped up. And we're gonna go over, yeah, so basic cantrips, they're nice. I like my produce flame, I like my highlight, and yeah. Hero starting stats. Bigger one is just getting your wisdom and your constitution up there. Don't really need strength or intelligence, charisma, so it kind of just level those out low. Strength is situational for if I run out of spells I need to hit. Then at least they have something. But wisdom, constitution is all they really need. Don't need dex. We're using heavy armor. We'll be fine. Right. So this is a very, very simple build. It's simply 12 levels of life domain cleric. So, starting off, I'm going to take command, guiding bolt, healing word, sanctuary. Sanctuary, highly underrated and very, very useful spell, especially in honor mode. And shield of faith. I always forget to use it, but it's also very useful. So, going on from here, just keep an eye on the prepared spell list. I like spiritual weapon. We're going to take it. Cleric's one of those classes which basically get all of their spells. I'm just going to show the ones I like. Light is only the really good one here. Once again, priority, wisdom, cranking that up. New spell we got at this level is Hold Person. Hold Person's nice. We do not need protection from poison. We do not need a warning bond. That is going to come via countercasting. Next, we get two new spells. One for Remove Curse, the other one for Spirit Guardians, or maybe Healing Word. Both are good. Go with Healing Word. Next level. Game keeps trying to give us Speak with the Dead. We don't need it. So probably going to take Spirit Guardians. It's useful. It's high damaging. Good for getting a little bit of low level creatures. Banishment. Great spell. We do not need freedom of movement. Level 8. New feat available. It's going to go once again into our wisdom. The game gave us Bestow Curse. I like Bestow Curse. I'm going to continue on. Now we get two new leveled spells. I don't really use the spell Good and Evil or Planar Binding. To be fair, I do like myself Contagion. I love my debuffs. And from here it's between Flame Strike and Insect Plague. Both are useful. I'm gonna go pick Insect Plague. Once again, higher the wisdom, harder it is to save from it. Pick any cantrip here. I've no real preference. Thaumaturgy, I guess. Tried to give us Feign Death. What to pick? Suppose. Don't need that. I'll go with Silence. Silence is useful just for shutting down some mages. Finally, it tried to give us Hero's Feast. We do not need Hero's Feast. That comes via camcasting. So we'll go with Planar Ally for our Deva. Final thing, we do not need any more ability points. So, probably gonna go with... let's go with Tough. More HP. Big thing is, keep your heal alive, you'll stay alive. Final level, let's pick Harm's nice. Let's just go heal. This is our pure like healing cleric. All right. So now we are going to move on to our gear. The majority of my builds are based around gear. So Cloak of the Weave, higher spell save DC, spell attack rolls. Absorb elements is nice. Helm of Baldur keeps them tops up. The healing, higher AC, higher saving throws. It's perfect. Armor of Persistence, once again great for having just Blade Ward and Resistance applied to you constantly. Very, very expensive to purchase in honor mode, but if you're doing everything correctly in your playthrough, you'll have plenty of money. Shoes, go whatever you like. Reviving Hands, important. You want to have Death Ward, you want to have Blade Ward whenever you have to pick someone back up. And the rings are the Whispering Promise and the Ring of Salving. The two best healing rings of the game, and you get them straight away. Finally, the Amulet of the Devout. Because, you know, higher spell save DC, higher spell save weapons. We do have the Morning Lord's Glory, but the big one I like is the Staff of Arcane Blessing that you get in the Arcane Tower, because the 10 round lasting, like, Super Bless is so useful in some fights. Once again, Blood of Lathander is nice. It can save you like once per day, once per long rest, and it gives you Sunbeam, which is situationally very useful, especially in Act 2, and also because the fact it can blind undead and fiends. But I'd say you're stuck between the staff and that. And finally, the Spellcrook's Amulet, because we will need an extra slot for, you'll see, camp casting later. Finally, it's that powerful Viconia Shield. It's arguably the best shield in the game. I do not want my cleric to get hurt, so she gets it. Right, from here, we will be moving on to our build for, I believe, Karlach. Alright, and we'll move on to her.
Come on, let's go!
Okay, so, moving on to Karlach. Karlach is going to be our tavern, I forget the other thing. I think it's the Tavern Brawler. Tavern Brawler thrower build. This is our highest, like, high damaging output barbarian build. Built to do a lot of the damage. Although our bard is pretty good as well, so I'd say they're tied around power. But anyway, so Karlach, it's a very simple build. Once again, we are prioritizing strength, constitution, and because we're using little to no armor, dexterity. I do not need intelligence or charisma, they are dump, don't even need wisdom. I'd say pick any one of you like for starting skills. Animal handling kind of suits Karlach in my opinion. So, moving on. Oh, I should preface everything here is made on console, so no mods. Karlach's build is really simple. It's just a load of levels in Barbarian, and a few levels in Fighter at the end. So, we are taking the subclass Berserker for an extra throw, which means it's just an extra attack. More throwing, more DPS. For people who don't know, Tavern Brawl is really effective. Ability, we're going to pump it into our strength. Higher strength, more will hit hard. Right, moving on. We're going to show you, basically I was just showing you there briefly how high our strength is already with a 19. So, moving on, level up, Barbarian. Karlach does have smites. I always forget to use them because I put her into rage and she can't use them then. Once again, more Barbarian. Got Feral Instinct. Next level we are going to pick Tavern Brawler for a final boost to strength, as well as, you know, the big boost to attack the Tavern Brawler gives. If we're doing this at a lower level, of course you will take Tavern Brawler first. finally, after level 9 Barbarian, we're switching over to Fighter. Defense is nice, but I'd say it's between defense and great weapon fighting. Both work. But yeah, your choice. Defense, it's nice, bit of extra AC. Or great weapon fighting, higher damage. I'm gonna pick higher damage because, once again, the best thing you can apply is death. And finally, we are going to pick up Champion for that improved critical hit, which the lower you can get your crit to hit, the higher your DPS is going to be. So, I haven't really survived now, but I have fucked up my build a bit, and you'll see it in a minute. But let's go over some gear. So, Horns of the Berserker, gotta love extra damage, and it only punishes you whenever you don't attack. It's very rare that Karlach isn't going to attack. Deathstalker Mantle, so I went Dirge on my playthrough. Invisibility is very nice for whenever I kill somebody. Bone Spike Boots, gotta love Brutal Leap, and the higher AC, and the Bone Spike Garb. Realistically, you could pick other things for Bone Spike Garb and the boots, but I like them. You do need these gloves. High damaging for your throws. Ring of Flinging, you need it. So Ring of Spiteful Thunder, you need it. Ring of Spiteful Thunder specifically works for reverberating, which my bard gives in plenty. And of course, the Amulet Greater Health, higher Constitution, of course means higher HP, easier con saves, and I think this is by the point that I realised that I have put some starting points into Constitution, so I'm just going to really quickly respec Karlach into what I should have done. No, I don't want to do a hireling. Click it again.
Dost thou require
Basically, I should have dumped Constitution, but I didn't because I'm a bit stupid. I kind of forgot. So, starting again, picking the exact same things. High Strength, High Dexterity, dump Constitution. We don't need it at all. Means we can make some of the other stats a bit better. So, don't need Constitution. Let's move that over to Dex. I'll put our Dex up to 16. Don't need Constitution, although the other stats are nice to boost up a bit, so let's just bring up our Intelligence, our Charisma, let's say our Wisdom. Like, realistically, do whatever you want, just, you know, you got that amulet, only need Strength and Dexterity, just spread these out however you like, really. You could just dump, like, one down all to the low and have another high stat, but there's nothing else I really need with her. And once again, picking up basically the exact same build, so I'm just going to rush through this really quick. Don't you love it when you mess up? I could edit this out. I'm a bit lazy, but yeah, showing off there. I have the Constitution I need. Alright. So, let's do this all again. Our Barbarian level. Our Barbarian level again. Let's get the Berserker ready. And now let's pick our ASI. Boosting our strength again. Which we're just quickly rushing through our build. Luckily Barbarian's really easy to have, you don't need to pick spells or anything, so we're just going to mindlessly kind of just go through this all the way up until Barbarian level 9. Of course remembering to pick up Tavern Brawler at level 8. Because hey, it's a throwing build, you're meant to have them. Strength, boosting up to 20. Oh, of course, I should mention that all these builds have basically used the mirror to gain their, favoured stats from it. Because, the mirror is... There is a way, if I can find the video I watched, to basically guarantee it. But there is a way to basically guarantee passing the religion check. That you need. I believe I used, the ring you get from that slime. The shape-shifting one, as well as being shifted at the same time. Plus some other stuff. If I can find the video, I'll link it. If not, then you have the internet at your disposal. But yeah, that is our Tavern Brawler build. It's very simple. That's mainly because, but really kind of simple. But yeah, I don't think I show it off. But yeah, she has a lot of explosives. Those came in very handy in the final fight. But yeah, anyway, we are going to move on to our next build. And of course, our next build is a Starian.
Dost thou require a new
I love my little vampire.
Or mayhaps
I
a
made him be nice on this playthrough
As
round,
thou-
although previous playthrough I made him go full evil edgelord vampire. So it was nice to see him, you know, I want to say happy. He's rather depressed. But anyway, so this is our Gloomstalker assassin build. I should preface this. A lot of my builds, like gear, is kind of, you know, available late game. I'm showing you these builds right before I'm about to fight the Brain. I fought Orin, I fought Cazador, I fought Gortash. But yeah. Starting off, we are going to pick Rogue. The big priority on Rogue is our dexterity. We do need wisdom. But once again, I believe my level up has shifted up my abilities around. Need my dexterity. Strength, I don't like having it too low. Constitution I don't really need, but intelligence I definitely don't need. So I believe we'll move that over to our wisdom. But yeah, big priority, Gloomstalker Assassin. High dex, wisdom for the spells. Having HP with constitution's nice. Everything else can be kind of where it is. Rogue, you are very much a skill monkey kind of build. Better high priorities for me are stuff like stealth, acrobatics for jumping. Don't really need persuasion or performance because he isn't the face of the party. I like having insight. Survival's usually a good option, but I don't have that here. But just in case he gets caught, we'll give him some persuasion. And of course, our expertise, we're going to do sleight of hand and stealth. Because, you know, he is our rogue. He's going to steal shit. That's his job. Alright. Moving on to his level ups. He is a bit of a wacky build. So, pay attention. I don't believe I'm going to fuck this one up. I've done it quite a few times by now. But we're going to pivot immediately into Ranger. Ranger's nice. Bounty Hunter's nice. I do like my Beast Timber, but of course, on a mode you need a resistance. Fire is a really common form of damage. I don't want to get hurt, so we're taking the fire resistance. Sorry if I'm going through this rather quickly, I'm a bit pressed for time today. And to pick survival, I need help finding those resource caches. Here, we're going to take another level in Ranger. Spells we want are Ensnaring Strike and Hunter's Mark. And Archery's nice, but I believe we are going to pick 2 weapon fighting because we will be dual wielding hand crossbows. Because hey, twice the shots, twice the damage. He's a high DPS assassin. It's his role. We're going to pick a final level in Ranger. We'll get Fog Cloud. You could take healing, Cure Wounds, if you need it, but Fog Cloud's good. And of course, Gloomstalker, for that lovely Dread Ambush. Humble Shroud as well, to, you know, turn invisible, and to be able to hide is nice. Right, from here I believe we are going to... I think we only need 3 levels in Ranger. Actually no, I tell you what, we're going to take another level. Because we need Sharpshooter. And we're going to end up doing possibly a 5 Ranger, 7 Rogue split. Because the big thing to get Ranger level 5 is extra attack. And we'll pick a passive out of trace because Sneaky Boy needs to sneak. No other spells, they're alright, we've got the good ones. We do not need Dark Vision, which I don't really know if Dark Vision is a useful spell full stop in Baldur's Gate. If I'm wrong, someone please tell me. I like to be told that I'm wrong, but I really can't figure out at all why Dark Vision is a spell. It's not like, at least in my opinion, you haven't really told the difference. Anyway, back to the build. Going to go back into Rogue, and of course, min-max option, Assassin. We get to our next level of feat. We went Sharpshooter last time, so we are going to go Crossbow Expert. We don't really need any other skills to be, like, we don't need any stats to be increased. They'll get high from the mirror. So, Crossbow Expert it is. Mainly so, you know, I'm going to be tackling crossbows. I don't want to be penalised for it. And more levels in Rogue. The more levels in Rogue you have, the better your sneak attack will hit. Skill expertise, persuasion, deception, do not need those. Let's do survival and acrobatics. Yeah, to avoid being shoved. It's really annoying. I had someone fall off the brain in the final fight. I finally set level Rogue for evasion to make me dodge those explosions that really, really hurt. So that's our build stat-wise. Once again, mirror, going for dex. Right, starting off, the Unflinching Protector Amulet. Got this from Pataris. Was very difficult. Sword-wise, we're going Bloodthirst and Rhapsody. But we only, because we're not using them, but the passives that you get on those weapons. Firestoker and Hellfire Hand Crossbow are main two hitters. They pair so well together. Sorry if I'm going this really quickly. Once again, the Risky Ring and the Caustic Band. I feel like those are staples in a lot of rogue builds. Shadeslayer Cloak, reducing that crit down. Stacks with what Bloodthirst gives. The Saravark Helmet, once again, reduces crit down. Stacks. Ballast Armor, Vulnerability, very powerful. But once again, I did need a Dark Urge on my playthrough to essentially get a lot of this stuff. I don't think you need it. I think you just need to become the Dark Assassin. I think that's what they're called. Basically, I did whatever Cyril wanted me to murder, that little elephant. Helldust Boots, I'd say they're interchangeable. The Mistwalkers are great as well. And Legacy the Masters, I do that because I like to actually hit most of my attacks. But I'd say Boots and Gloves are exchangeable for whatever you really see fit. Once again, these builds are not set in stone. Do whatever you feel like is comfortable for you. This is what was comfortable for me. This is what beat honor mode for me. But once again, you can use whatever you feel like. I just like what I made, and if I do, I would share it. I did also use the Surgeon's Subjugation Amulet. A guaranteed paralysis on a crit that's something that cannot resist. Made the Saravark fight really well, and that ring I just showed off helps guaranteed said crit for that particular fight, and it's useful having, you know, if you really want to easily win a boss encounter. Anyway, let's move on to camcasting. Alright, so, camcasting. Start this one fresh, let's go to camp, and let's sleep for the day. Don't question all the random blood that's all over the floor, especially around this bed. I think it's from summons dying, I think it's those zombies that Astarion has. But anyway, let's rest up. Let's see, we'll have a chicken, some bread, pies. I have a lot of alcohol to go through. Once again, basically, honor mode, pick up food whenever. Pick up every bit of food, send it to camp. Don't need to worry about it. I found that I haven't really needed to care about food at all in my playthrough. Let's just pick some alcohol. Yeah, that's good enough. I think you only get the drunk effect once you use all alcohol, majority alcohol. Which is an achievement. Anyway. So. Starion got his Tharkiate Vigor back from the book, the Codex. And anyway, I don't think I'll show off my builds for my buff, for essentially my campcasters, aka my hirelings. Anyway, So, starting off, let's do a custom my closet. Let's do shovel. Strategy here is basically we need to get all of my party summons out now. Let's see, brain coming up. Let's do. Where we go? Fire. Let's do fire elemental. They're always nice. So you can really start doing cam casting the moment at any level really. But in my opinion, it becomes effective once you hit level 11. When you get to the point where you can have cam casting builds that have Heroes Feast. At Karlak, you're going to summon us, or I've kind of like dubbed him. I've started calling him Brian. But yeah, so once again, focus on summoning. I don't know if this is a glitch for console, but I feel like whenever I summon in anything, the game kind of freezes for a hot moment. I can't really do anything. But yeah, look at this. So, summoning in my zombies. And I can't move my character right now. I can't use any of its skills. I simply need to wait. It's almost like the game is buffering, lagging.
There is work to do.
See, tried switching to Shadowheart there. Nothing. But it passes. So I have to give it a minute. I love looking at Karlak's passive animations. She's got so much energy, she's got him dancing away. But yeah, so, see, can't move. They need to fix this. Oh, it could just be my save. Anyway, got control. Start off with cam casting. I need a spare spell slot. I don't really want to use spell slot, so I'm going to quickly equip Staff of Spell Power so I can summon in my Deva for free on Shadowheart. So, Arcane Battery. Summon the Deva. I don't like the Genie of the Cambion. They're nice, but Deva, in my opinion, he's useful. He's fun. But yeah, look at this. Can't even remove, like, switch weapons. It's a very inconvenient bug. There we go. Now I can. And for now, that is it with it. So we need to figure out. So next step is picking one of our campcasters. Let's start with Brenna.
At thy disposal.
But the vessel
She's kind of like an all-round kind of buff things. The builds for these can kind of be whatever you want. I'll just go over the spells I'm going to cast and kind of show you them. I like to refer to campcasting as legal buffing because you're not glitching. You're not like actively paying whether to respec your class. You're using a system that's already in place.
Thy command.
Anyway, so Brenna, you are going to temporarily replace. God damn, the game's taking a while to load. You're going to replace Astarion, and you can sit at the corner for now. Game kind of just takes a bit of a shit here, or it just takes a while to load, and finally we can start buffing as Brenna.
Intestines throb, blood whispers.
Right, so Brenna's main job is to put Transmuter Stone, specifically the one that helps with maintaining Constitution saves, aka stop your spells from fizzling when you get hit. I often do cast it on Shadowheart, but I want to cast it on my main character, on my Bard, on my Dirge. So yeah, so Transmuter Stone applied. Next, for those who don't know, Transmuter Stone is a wizard thing. Next, I'm gonna go around and we're gonna start casting Long Strider on everybody. This is why we didn't need it on our main party. Actually, no, we'll do Dark Vision first. I don't know if it does anything, but yeah. No main job, Transmuter Stone, Dark Vision, and Long Strider. That's all she does.
Still in control.
We're going to move our character in position so we can twin spell Dark Vision. Because twin spelling, that only gives it like a certain range. Bring into place. Let's twin spell, dark vision. Basically just saving a spell slot. No, let's go to the dark vision. I don't see the point in doing it, but a buff's a buff. And even though Astarion is no currently absent from our party, he can get the buffs too, because he'll eventually come with us. And we are going to start Longstridering. And this includes to all of the summons. Let's do a 5th level so we can get Astarion and the zombies. The ghouls, I should say. And they're zombies, aren't they? And Longstrider is applied to that group. Same thing, summons over this end. So let's do us, Shovel, Fire Elemental, the Diva, my character. Oh, goddamn controller died. Fixed. Let's do Karlak. Yeah, they're all Longstrided. So hopefully with that, Longstrider's done. Switch in our next campcaster. Let's see, let me just double check. Shadowheart, I believe I got her for everything. Yeah, we'll be fine. So, next we are going to... So, I would usually cast Enhanceability on Brenna here. She's particularly good at making medicine checks because she is our potion maker. There's a great video on campcasting that goes over having an alchemy crafter. But anyway, our next campcaster,
You'll need to make room in your
we are going to take on... Oh, I forget this one's name, and the game's lagging because I'm trying to send Brenna back. But yeah, once again, builds don't really matter for campcasters. They are purely there to apply the spells that won't run out when they leave. Verana, that's her name. Anyway, so hold on a minute. Game is lagging while we're adding someone in. Gonna wait for Verana to load. There she is. If I get overwhelming support, I will do videos on these campcasting builds I put together. But they really don't need anything in detail. They're there to apply buffs. Her main focus is putting Death Wall on everybody. So here you go, Shadowheart, since you're on your own. We're going to put Death Ward and we'll put Freedom of Movement while we're here. We have just enough high level spell slots on Verana to be able to apply Death Ward to everybody. Let's do the Protection Poison, mainly so I'm not doing back and forth later. She's got Longstrider and Warding Bond. I tend to only put on to one person, so I'll probably end up putting on my main character. Although I don't use Warding Bond too often. Anyway, so Death Ward, main character. Throw a Death Ward on Karlak. As you can see now we're eating into our 5th level spells, and our final 1st level spell is just enough to apply Death Ward to Astarion. Death Ward, as you know, is a spell that will essentially stop you from dying one time. And Protection from Poison is nice. I don't know if you need it, if I'm being honest. Some part of my brain is saying that Hero's Feast will protect you. But regardless, Protection from Poison is really nice. Because it allows you to just not give a shit about Cloud Kill. They will not hurt. Cloud Kill will not hurt you. And yeah, we'll play Warding Bond. Pick our main character. Because, well, I'm a bit more reckless with them. And yeah, that's all the buffs applied. I believe this character's majority class is Cleric. First one is like a wizard mix. And this final guy, I love his name. It's like Sir... what was it? Making Veranda stay at camp. It's like... it's a weird gnomish name. It's like Sir something. We'll see it here in a second when it decides to load. Sir Fuzzlump, that's it. Sir Fuzzlump is getting the remaining spells that we need via a pure druid build. Yeah. First buffer is kind of like a wizard mix, mainly so you can get Transmuter Stone, and some Sorcerer so you can get twin spells to make the spells last longer. That last one was a Cleric, and he is pure druid because we need to get Hero's Feast. So, I'm now going to go over the ache of using Hero's Feast, because trying to get everybody in position, mainly Shadowheart. If you try and do this any other way, Shadowheart will just stop and basically go back to, like, essentially mid as you're casting the spell. She'll just go back. So you need to make sure you're in turn-based mode, dash her over here, use every ounce of, like, movement and thing that you can to basically not give her an option. So usually if you didn't do that, she'll start walking back. But anyway, she's now in position. Everybody's kind of gathered in this top area where you should be able to cast Hero's Feast and get everybody in the ring. So that's all my summons, Astarion, and all my characters. And now they are now thorough served, so they get extra HP. They got the other buffs of Hero's Feast, and we're going to begin applying the final last buff. It's just giving freedom of movement to everybody who didn't get it before, which is basically everybody except from Shadowheart. As you can see also on the left hand side of the screen, it's really starting to stack up with the buffs here now. Cam casting is very powerful, and you're kind of just, you know, kicking yourself like for not using it. Of course, you know, I wouldn't use this if I wasn't terrified of honor mode difficulty. It's my first playthrough. I don't want to lose it this far in. I'm like 140 hours in. Don't want to lose it at this point. I should say here, you can apply one final big buff. They've already got protection poison, already got long shot. You could give daylight to everybody, but I found that the lighting in this game kind of breaks if everybody has daylight applied on them. But yeah, one thing I should say is that if I was really pressed for resources, which I'm not,
No one stopped me yet.
now that I've applied all the spells, I'll just go through my other spells again and begin using every single spell slot I can to just give me loads and loads of good berries. I think it's by time you get to a decent set of camcasting you can stop caring about provisions, but I have plenty, so we're just going to get Astarion back just to save on time. Game takes a bit of a lag each time we're switching characters. Bear with me.
Excellent.
It's not something I like. It's a game. It's a bit of a bug. But yeah, as you can see, all of my characters have this huge amount of buffs. Everybody has a shitload of health. Karlach's up to 170 HP. My summons, like even Shovel's got loads of HP for what he is. Like Brains, got loads of HP. And we're not done here. They're going to get more. There's one huge buff and that's from Aid. But I'm going to use... But there's an issue with Aid. Is that sometimes Aid doesn't like to apply. They're not all in range. So I generally do that once I'm out. Final bits I need for my build. I need to equip the ice effect. Once again, if you saw my Iron Fire, you'll see why the ice effect is really powerful. What we're doing here is replacing down Karlach's main weapon, Nerona. We are equipping the Drake Throat Glaive, which is the elemental weapon, which if you place your weapon down on the floor, you can actually apply elemental weapon to anything that's on the floor around you. It doesn't have to be the weapon you've got in your hand. So, now Nerona is an elemental weapon, and we're just going to equip it back into Karlach. I don't like how he doesn't show up on the back, but I'll just check it here now. So, let's make sure I've got it equipped. And if you go into here, we have a look at it. See, yep, it's equipped down there. And yeah, if you look right at the bottom, it has an elemental weapon. Very good. So that's even more damage applied by remembering to activate the staff on main character and remembering to activate the Drake for Glaive. Karlach. Finally, Armor of Agathis, 20 temporary HP. It's useful. And now we're going to leave camp. And once I have everybody in this nice little bundle, now we're outside of camp, we're going to apply Aid, and you're going to see our final HP kind of maximum, which I'm very proud of. So, once again, I can summon Scratch. Scratch is nice to have, but you have to do a short rest first to do it. Not kind of worth it. Let's see. Aid is there, but I believe I first want to... I haven't spotted it yet. There it is. Aid, 6th level spell. See, everybody's in range. All the summons are in range. And we'll apply it. Karlach's now up to 195 HP. Nothing to say bad about. And yeah, that was Campcasting. Those are all my builds. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Wish you luck in your honor mode runs. See you later and goodbye.